Now let's finish up the setup before we go and start adding the content and setting up our automated content. What we're going to want to do is go and do our setup of our plugins. So we'll go to Settings, and then we need to set up at this time the all-in-one SEO plugin and the XML sitemap. So first we'll start with the all-in-one SEO. Okay, so click the one-click upgrade to see if we have anything we need to do. Okay, and we'd have to make this writable if we want this to work, so we're not going to bother, but you could go ahead and make that writable, or you could go check for updates on the site and upload it again. Okay, so what we basically can do down here is set a bunch of parameters on the pages so that they're more search engine friendly. So this is our home page title, and you can make that fixed here, and the home page description and the keywords on the home page. So those three things you're definitely going to want to change and set up. Okay, so there's what I'm going to put in for my home page title. This is got our keywords in it that we want, and it will help with the search engine. So we'll add that in there. We'll also copy it into the description, and you can add more to the description if you want. Down here we need to put in a keyword list. This is for the home page. Okay, so there are some keywords that I'm going to use in there. Now down here what we have are our post titles formats and our different formats down here. So what these mean is our post title, and then there's a pipe with the blog title after it. So that's the format that we're seeing here for all of these things. So you can change any of these that you want, but you can leave them as they are too, because they will put the stuff there that is keyword optimized, since you have already done this with your blog. So you can change it if you want, or you can leave it if you don't want to change it. Okay, down here use no index for categories, use no index for archive. I would uncheck those. Okay, you can have additional post headers if you want, additional page headers, additional home headers. And that's all I'm going to change on this, so we'll just update the options. Okay, and then WP-O-Matic we're going to get to after we actually start adding our fixed content and we're ready to add our automatic content. So we're going to come back to that. In the meantime, let's go to the XML sitemap. Now what we need to do here is we need to create a folder for our sitemap to reside in. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our file manager. And if you remember, we went to that from within our control panel. Now you could also do it from FileZilla. Let's just do it from here just to show you. So what we want to do is go to within public_HTML, which is where the home page of our blog is. And then what we want to do inside here is just create a directory, and we want to call it sitemap. Okay, and then if we roll down to where the sitemap directory is and we right click on it, file attributes, we want to change this to 777, and you'll see that all the boxes are checked. Click OK, and that's what we need to do there, and that's where we're going to store our sitemap, and that's why we did that. Okay, so let's go back into here, and what we'll do is go to where we set up where our sitemap belongs. So what you want to do is roll way down here where it says location of your sitemap. What you want to do is click custom location, and then right here before sitemap.xml type in sitemap / Okay, so now you should have sitemap public_HTML or whatever was there before /sitemap / sitemap.xml, and then down here you need to do the same thing. So here you would put sitemap / sitemap.xml. Okay, sitemap content. Okay, that should be fine. Down here, daily, monthly posts. So you're going to want to do that daily. Static pages, categories. The rest of that is okay. Just make sure you change posts to daily. And then down here, we can just leave all this alone. I'll update the options. So what we'll do now is we'll click here to build the sitemap for the first time. Okay, so there, it's built the sitemap. Now if we were to go back to here and look inside our sitemap folder, you'll see that we have our sitemap folders in there. So it's now all ready to use. We don't have to do anything further. This is all automated from this point on. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is set up our ping list. So let's go to writing. And then our default post category, let's set that to dog health. Our default link category is resources. Okay, and then down at the bottom here, we have a ping list. Now, in your resources document, there is a ping list. If you open that up, you'll see between the lines here a ping list that I've supplied for you. So just grab those and highlight them, and then copy, then go back in here, overwrite this one, and paste that in there. There's our ping list. Okay, now all we have to do is set up our static content, and our static content is just going to be our home page. So what you're going to want to do is either write an article or find an article that has private label rights and use that, maybe change it slightly, or have an article written for your front page. Then we'll post that article and we'll set our home page. So I'm going to go ahead and post an article. So we do a write, then a page, and then you would paste your article in here, your title, and then you paste your article down in the box down here. Okay, so there's our article in there. The all-in-one SEO pack in here, we can put the title in. So we'll do copy, paste, and then we could put some keywords in here as well if we want. Okay, anything else in here? Okay, we should have the comments on pings all turned off, and that's really all we have to do here. We just click publish. Then what we want to do is go back to settings and set our home page. This is the last step in our setup. So we do go to reading, and then what we do is click a static page, and then we select this as our home page. Save our posts, save our changes. Now we view the site, and as you can see, it is now our home page. Now, something we might want to do here, you'll see this About Me section, and on this particular template, this has been hard-coded right in that template, so we should take that out or put something else in there. I'm just going to take it out. Now, to do that, we could go into our theme directory here and modify it on our computer and then re-upload it, or we could modify it using the file manager in the cPanel. But let's just go into this. And what we want to do is go to the sidebar, do an open with Notepad. Now this is rare you're going to see something like this. So we just roll down here until we see okay, so here we are, About Me. So what we want to do is take out this bit here. Just remove that. We'll save. Now we'll just re-upload sidebar.php using FileZilla. So what we have to do now, again, this is probably not something you're going to see very often, but I'm just going to show you how to do it in case it ever pops up. We'll go to Themes and then into Dog Lover, which is the one we're using. Then what we want to do is find it on this side as well and just re-upload sidebar.php, overwrite. Now if we refresh here, it's gone. Alright, so we're already here. Site looks like it's all done. The next thing we want to do is we're going to start adding our content that's going to come from feeds. Now what we're going to do is we're going to find some feeds, RSS feeds, that will feed our site the content automatically. So let's go back to the admin area here. Okay, so we go into the WP-O-Matic setup. And the first thing we need to do is run the test like it says here. So we just run this test. And it tells us that everything is cool with our server, so we can continue down here. So now we click Next. Okay, so it's just telling us to check, make sure our time is right here. And it is, so we click Next. Okay, at this point what we want to do is we want to add a cron job to our cPanel or to our cron tab so that it will automatically run the import of feeds. Now to set up our cron job, what we need to do is go to the scene panel, and then on here we just find cron jobs. Click on that. And then what we'll do is we can go to either advanced or standard. Now let's go back and look at what they're telling us to do here. This is actually the advanced cron settings here. That means it runs every 20 minutes. But we can do that a little easier just by going into standard. And then what we do is we'll just set this to 20. And then every hour. Okay, every day, every month, every week. Every weekday, and all we have to do now is put our cron command in here. Now you'll see here that they tell us to use wget or a similar command. Now you can try wget, but many servers won't allow you to use it. So let's take this part of it first. Just grab the URL that they have here and let's copy that and paste it in here. So paste it there. And then we'll go to the front of this piece of code. And what I would try first is to put wget into it. Space, like that. And then see if it works. Chances are in about 50% of the cases it isn't going to work. And if it doesn't, then all you have to do is change this to curl. C-U-R-L. Okay, and a quick way to test if it works is to, with either one of these commands, is put it like that, then change this to every minute, every hour, every day, every month, every weekend, and when you save the cron tab, it will run this right within the first minute, and will run it every minute. And you will get an email if you put your email address up in this box up here. It'll email you the results. So you can try wget first. If it comes back and says access denied, you know that you can't use wget, and then you can try curl. Or you can save yourself some grief by just using curl first and test that. Okay, so I'm going to set this back to every 20 minutes. And then we'll save. Okay, and then our cron job's all set up in there. and it will go and get the feeds automatically once we set them up. Okay, now that our cron job is in there, we click Next. We click Submit to complete the installation. Okay, and then it's all installed. Now you'll see here we have Dashboard Campaign, Add Campaign, Options, Import and Export. Now first let's go into Options. And if you have this message up here, what it means is that our cache is not writable. So we need to go into FileZilla and fix that. So we have to go into the WP-O-Matic folder under Plugins and change the cache to be writable. So we'll go to FileZilla. Let's reconnect here. And then we make sure we're in Plugins. And then we go to WP-O-Matic. And then cache. And there isn't even a cache folder here, so that is why we're having a problem. So what we'll do is we'll create a directory and call it cache, C-A-C-H-E. Then what we do is right click and change it to 777. There, okay, so that's good. Now if we go back here and just click Options again, you'll see that that has disappeared and the cache folder is set up correctly. Whether we want to enable logging or not. Okay, and then let's go back and add a campaign. Actually, this video is getting a bit long, so we will continue with the setup of our content from feeds in the next video.